I'm Mia, and this time I'm sharing a story through my own eyes. Not all stories are full of happiness, but every story has a reason for existing. In this one, you'll see the mess I got myself into, the lessons I barely survived, and how I became the person I am today. Every failure is a lesson, and every win comes with pain. So join me in this journey, and maybe you'll see parts of yourself here too. You know, growing up in our house, love wasn't really a thing. We lived together, but it always felt like we were strangers. My parents provided what they could, but no one ever taught me how to love right. No hugs, no how are you. Just routines like robots in one broken house. So I learned early how to keep my feelings hidden. Cry alone, fight alone, move on alone. Maybe that's why I turned out like this, always craving attention, but never knowing what to do when I actually got it. That's how it started with him. It was supposed to be a game, cute display picture, fake name, sob story about being broke, abandoned, needing help, butyl style, and I was good at it. Men would fall for a pretty smile and a little flirting, and I'd get free load, free Gcash, sometimes even groceries. Easy, right? But then this guy Ethan, he was supposed to be like all the others. Another target, another transaction, but Ethan was different. He didn't just reply with haha or cute mo. He asked me how I was. He asked about my childhood. He remembered the little things I said. I don't know how it happened, but I started waiting for his name to pop up on my screen. I started fixing my hair before our video calls, even though I knew I was playing a role. I laughed for real. I smiled for real. I caught myself checking my phone like a high school girl crushing for the first time. And here's the part I hate admitting. I started wanting him, not his money. It wasn't just the sweet words, it was the way he made me feel like I mattered. Like I wasn't just some pretty face playing a dirty game. I felt seen. But there was tension too. He'd call me trouble with that voice. Low, teasing. Like he knew exactly what kind of danger I was. Every time he'd lean closer to the camera, smirk and say my name slow, I swear I felt it down to my bones. It wasn't just flirting anymore. It was like every word from him was designed to make me weak. For the first time, I wanted more than just the scam. But the worst part, deep inside, I knew I wasn't being real. I knew I was still lying, and yet I kept falling. Funny, right? The scammer falling for the guy she was supposed to scam, but I didn't know then he had his own game too. That's a story for later. It's funny how people always assume brokenness starts with heartbreak, but mine started at home. Our house was never silent, but it was always empty. Mama was there, sure, but not really there. She was busy with work, busy surviving, busy trying to hold a family that never even felt like one. Papa, he was around when he felt like it, usually drunk or angry, whichever mood fit the night. And when he was gone, we barely noticed. The noise was always there, but the warmth never was. Growing up, I learned love was something you earned, not something you deserved. You cleaned the house, you followed the rules, you got praised. You did something wrong, you got ignored, sometimes shouted at, sometimes worse. I wasn't hugged much. I wasn't told I love you unless it was followed by a favor being asked. Love felt like a payment plan. Do this, get that dot. So I built walls, smiled when I needed to, laughed at jokes that weren't funny, pretended to be okay because crying didn't really do anything but annoy the people around me. And when I hit teenage years, that's when I realized flirting could get me the attention I was starving for. I figured out early that compliments felt better than silence. Guys liked pretty faces, pretty smiles, soft voices. I could play that role. And honestly, I was good at it. Flirting turned into favors. Favors turned into gifts. Gifts turned into money. I didn't feel guilty, not at first. It wasn't like anyone was teaching me better. Love was a transaction, remember? Attention was a reward, and I was just doing what I knew. It wasn't even about the money most of the time. It was about the power, the validation, feeling wanted, even if I knew deep down none of it was real. But Ethan, he was supposed to be, just like the others. Cute profile pic, decent smile, just another guy to entertain, just another target for load and Gcash. That was the game, and I was playing it well until he started making me feel things I didn't expect. The way he said my name wasn't like the others. It wasn't the usual, hey, sexy or baby girl. It was slower, softer, more dangerous. And when he laughed, I swear I felt that laugh slide under my skin, settle somewhere I didn't want to admit was still warm. I hated how he made me blush. I hated that I was checking my phone more than usual. I hated that I was starting to memorize the way his lips curved when he teased me. It wasn't supposed to get this far. I built this life to be untouchable, to be in control, and yet here I was, melting, craving, waiting for a scammer's message like some schoolgirl with a hopeless crush. The worst part, I knew I was still lying. I was still playing a role. fake stories, fake photos, fake everything, except the way my stomach flipped every time he said, "I like talking to you." I hated how real that felt. Chapter 3. The REACTO Annette started with good mornings and ended with late night calls. We talked about everything: the weather, our favorite songs, stupid things like what food we were craving at midnight. Slowly, the fake stories I used to tell other guys didn't feel necessary with him anymore. I started telling pieces of the real me, little bits here and there, testing if he would notice the cracks between the lies. And I hated that I was excited to see his name pop up, like I wasn't supposed to be the one catching feelings. I should have known it was too good to last. One night, during one of those long calls where it felt like he could see right through me, he suddenly went quiet. I remember asking, "What's wrong?" Soft, almost like I already knew something was off. Then he said it. "You're not really who you say you are you?" I froze. My heart did that thing where it skipped, dropped, twisted all at once. I tried to play dumb, even smiled like nothing was wrong. "What do you mean?" But then he laughed. Not angry, not hurt, amused. That low, teasing laugh I hated loving so much. "You think you're the only scammer here?" I didn't know whether to be embarrassed, scared, or impressed. Turns out, while I was using fake photos, he was using fake names, fake job, fake everything. And the way he said it, like we were equals, like this whole thing was some inside joke. We were both in on it, made my stomach flip again. In that dangerous way only he could. "I reverse searched your photo," he said. "Playful, sharp, beautiful, by the way, but not you." I should have left. Should have blocked him. Should have walked away and saved whatever dignity I had left. But I didn't. Instead, I found myself laughing too. Honest laughter, the kind that feels both good and humiliating at the same time. There we were, two scammers, both caught, both exposed. And instead of getting ugly, it got weirdly real. That night we dropped the lies like clothes falling to the floor slowly. Unsure if we should, but doing it anyway. It felt intimate, stripping away the stories we built for survival. Suddenly, it wasn't just flirting. It was raw honesty wrapped in tension. His voice lowered, soft but dangerous, making my skin heat up just by the way he said my name. And when I told him my real one, I swear I felt more naked than if I'd taken my clothes off. "I like this," he whispered, like it was some secret he wasn't supposed to admit. "I like you." How stupid is that? Falling for someone who was lying to me just as much as I was lying to him. Falling for someone who should have been just another con. But that night, hearing him laugh, hearing him call me by my real name, it felt more real than anything I'd felt in years. Two liars. Two broken people. And somehow we found each other in the mess. After that night, everything changed, but also nothing changed. We kept talking, but the tone was different now. The flirting was still there, but softer, slower, like we were both holding something delicate in our hands we didn't know how to handle. We still joked. We still teased. But between the laughter were long pauses. Moments when neither of us spoke because the weight of what we were doing started to sink in. We started sharing more of ourselves. The real parts this time, or at least the parts we wanted the other to see. He told me about his family, how he grew up with promises always broken, how trust felt like a language he never really learned. And I told him about my parents, how love in our house was like currency, only given when you deserved it. It was weird having someone actually understand that kind of emptiness. It made me feel less alone. It made me hate him a little less for being exactly like me. But honesty has a way of making things more dangerous, not less. Because with every secret we shared, I wanted more of him, more attention, more us. And then the jealousy came. I caught him flirting with another girl, not by accident, not by snooping, but because he didn't even bother to hide it. Same lines, same sweet lies. The same playful way he'd talk to me. Now being served to someone else, like I wasn't supposed to care. But I did care. I wanted to throw my phone. I wanted to block him, curse him, remind myself that I had no right to be mad because wasn't I doing the exact same thing before? I was the liar first. I was the one who set the whole game in motion. But it didn't matter. Knowing that didn't make it hurt less. What scared me most wasn't the betrayal. It was the fact that I wanted to believe his excuses anyway. I wanted to believe it was just habit. That maybe he was falling for me the same way I was falling for him. That maybe, somehow, we were both stupid enough to want something real in a world full of lies, but I couldn't say it out loud. I couldn't beg for loyalty when I was still trying to forgive myself for how it all started. I hated the part of me that wanted to keep him close, even if I knew he was still playing the game on the side. Every time he called me trouble with that low voice of his, I felt my body betray me all over again. It wasn't just physical. Though, God, it was physical too. It was emotional. I didn't just want his hands. I wanted his attention, his loyalty, his softness. The parts he gave me late at night when he forgot to keep pretending. But love built on lies is like holding glass, beautiful, but always cutting you the longer you hold on. I should have let go. Chapter 5, Reflictun. It's crazy how you don't really notice the damage until you're already in too deep. I used to think broken people just found each other by accident. Like we were all floating around in the same dirty water, clinging to whoever was close enough to keep us from drowning. But now I'm starting to think we're magnets for each other. Like somewhere deep inside we can smell the damage on each other, and we confuse that for love. Was I ever really in love with him? Or was I just lonely? Lonely enough to mistake attention for affection. Lonely enough to think someone choosing me, even for the wrong reasons, was better than being alone with my own emptiness. I'd been here before, not with another scammer, but with other guys, real relationships, or at least they looked real from the outside. The same patterns: flirt, get what I want, get bored, cheat, lie, move on, over and over, like clockwork. And the worst part, I didn't even feel guilty most of the time. It was survival. Like love was a game you either won or lost, and I refused to lose, even if that meant breaking someone before they could break me. Looking back, I don't think I ever fell in love with people. I fell in love with the idea of being wanted. I fell in love with control. If I could make them stay, make them chase, I felt powerful. But underneath all of that, I was scared to death of being seen, like really seen. Because what if they saw the real me and realized I wasn't worth it? That's what made scamming so easy. It wasn't about the money. Not really. It was about creating a version of myself that someone could love, even if that version was a lie. Lies were safe. I could control lies. Real love was messy and terrifying. Maybe I became a scammer because I never really learned how to love properly. No one taught me how to open up without using my body or my stories as weapons. No one taught me that being vulnerable doesn't have to mean being weak. And now I'm sitting here, stuck in this stupid mess with a guy who's just as broken as me, wondering if we're both just two accidents waiting to happen again. I hate how much I still want him, even after knowing what I know. Even after feeling stupid, jealous, bitter, insecure, I still crave that voice late at night. That laugh that makes my chest ache, that smirk I can't get out of my head. I crave him in ways I don't even want to admit. Physically and emotionally tangled up like knots I don't know how to untie. Maybe that's why broken people find each other. Not because we're meant to save each other, but because we're the only ones who know how to hold sharp things without flinching. But I'm starting to wonder, is that love, or just two people using each other to feel less alone? There comes a point when even the lies start to feel heavy, like clothes that don't fit anymore. I woke up one day, stared at the fake profiles I made, all the different versions of myself I had used, like masks, and suddenly it didn't feel fun anymore. It felt pathetic, exhausting, like I couldn't breathe under all of it. So I deleted them, every single one. Photos gone, conversations ended. Blocked the numbers, removed the apps. It felt like cutting off limbs I didn't need, but had grown used to carrying. And when I told him, I expected some kind of reaction. Maybe pride, maybe guilt, maybe something soft or sweet. Instead, he just said, "You sure?" Like he didn't quite believe I could do it. I asked him to do the same, to stop the games, the flirting, the small-time scams with other girls. I told him I wanted to try something real, even if it scared the hell out of me. And I don't know what I expected. Maybe that romantic movie moment where the guy promises to change, all soft smiles and easy words, but instead, I got silence. And then, I don't know if I can. Trust doesn't grow out of nowhere, not when it's been poisoned from the start. Every sweet thing he said felt double-edged. Every promise tasted like it could be broken before. It even reached my heart. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him, but we were both so used to lying, it felt like second nature, like muscle memory, like breathing. How do you unlearn that? It didn't help that the world around me didn't believe in us either. My cousin caught me on a call with him once, heard just enough to put the pieces together. "You're falling for another scammer?" She said like it was disgusting, like I was a fool. "You're smarter than this. You're better than this." But what if I wasn't? What if this broken mess of wanting the wrong people was all I ever knew how to do? Then there was my mom, randomly asking for money one night, not realizing I was already drowning in my own guilt and confusion. I wanted to scream, "I can't even fix myself. How the hell am I supposed to save you too?" But I just smiled, pretended. Again, survival mode. The one thing I was good at, every time I tried to pull away from him, he'd say just enough to keep me close. He knew exactly how to use his voice, how to soften his words, how to lean into the spaces where I was weakest. One "I miss you" from him, spoken low like a secret, and I'd melt all over again. It wasn't fair. I hated that he knew that. I hated more that I didn't want to stop him. We tried to be better. We really did. But it was like trying to build a house on sand, shaky, beautiful in the right light, but impossible to trust. And the question started to eat at me day by day. Was I staying because I loved him? Or was I staying because broken things just don't know how to let go? Either way, I was already in too deep. It was supposed to be over. The lies, the games, the other girls we promised. We promised to stop, to choose each other this time. To start fresh, even if we were both cracked open from the start. But betrayal has this ugly way of showing itself, when you least expect it. I wasn't even looking for proof. I was just scrolling, minding my own business. When I saw his name pop up somewhere, it shouldn't have been a mutual connection. A screenshot, one of those random algorithm curses that throws people's secrets into your lap when you're least ready for it. Different girl, same lines, same jokes. Same flirting he used on me like a signature move carved into every message. I felt my throat close, like swallowing glass. My hands were shaking before I even realized I was typing. I didn't play it cool. I didn't pretend to be calm. I called him, heart pounding so loud I could barely hear my own voice when I asked, "Who the hell is she?" Silence. That kind of silence that confirms everything without a single word. And then the excuses started. It's nothing, I swear. I don't even know her like that. It's just old habits. You know how this works. But I wasn't listening anymore. I was too busy feeling my stomach drop over and over, like a free fall with no bottom. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tear my own skin off for being so stupid, so predictable. For thinking a liar could teach another liar how to love, right? I was ready to change for you, I said, barely able to keep my voice steady. I was ready to stop lying. To stop hiding, I deleted everything for you, and you couldn't even do the same. It wasn't just anger, it was heartbreak, raw and sharp, cutting through every soft thing I thought we had. He tried to soften his tone, tried to laugh it off the way he always did, but it didn't work this time. His charm felt like poison now, not sweetness. "You don't get it," he whispered. "I don't know how to stop." That's when I realized, maybe we were never going to save each other. Maybe we were just two broken mirrors pressed against each other, reflecting the cracks back and forth until neither of us could see anything clearly anymore. I could have stayed. God knows, part of me wanted to believe that broken people deserve love too. Even messy, toxic, dangerous love. But another part of me, the part I had ignored for years, was screaming to get out. He didn't beg me to stay. Maybe that hurt most of all. So I hung up. No dramatic goodbye. No last sweet words. Just silence between two people who finally realized that love, built on lies, only knows how to break you. And maybe for the first time in my life, I chose myself. It's strange how endings don't always feel like endings. Sometimes they feel like standing in the middle of a familiar room, staring at everything the same way, but knowing you're different now. After that last call, I didn't cry the way I expected to. I just sat there, numb, empty, but somehow lighter. I didn't go back to him. Not this time. I blocked the number, deleted the chat history, archived every memory I could find. Like closing doors I didn't trust myself to open again. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't empowering. It was just necessary. Quiet, like healing usually is. The funny thing is, I didn't suddenly become a better person after that. I still caught myself wanting to post a fake profile to fall back into the comfort of lies, to chase that easy high of making someone fall for a version of me I knew how to perform. But I didn't. Not because I was suddenly pure or wise, just tired of the cycle, tired of the pretending. For once, I wanted to know what it felt like to be chosen for who I really was. Not the story I knew how to sell. I wanted something. That didn't feel like a game I had to win. I started small, fixed my resume, applied for part-time work, reached out to friends I had pushed away because I was too ashamed of what I had become. It wasn't some movie montage of success. It was awkward, messy, sometimes humiliating. But it was real, and maybe that's the only thing I wanted after all, something real and him. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if he thinks about me too, if he still plays the same games with other girls, whispering the same lines, using that voice that once felt like home to me. Maybe he's still out there chasing what we both thought we wanted. Maybe he's lost too, or maybe he's forgotten me completely. But I don't hate him. Not really. We were mirrors of each other. We didn't meet by accident. We met because we were the same kind of broken, dragging each other into something that was always going to break us both. I used to believe that broken people only knew how to break others, that love built on lies could never be real. But now I'm not so sure. Maybe love can start messy, ugly, even dishonest. But if you want it to be real, You have to strip everything fake away, even if that means ending up alone first. And honestly, maybe alone isn't the worst thing. But here's what I still don't know. What I still think about late at night when everything's quiet again. Can love really grow from a lie? Are broken people just destined to keep breaking others? Or is there still hope for people like me?